Good morning, everyone. This is John with Gun Deals, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Holosun 503CU. But before we get into the video, if you don't know, Gun Deals is a website that provides you with links to some of the best products and prices in the industry. So whatever it is that you happen to be looking for, go ahead and check them out first. Once again, that is gun.deals. They don't buy or sell anything. They don't take your money. They can only point you in the right direction. Now, with all of that out of the way, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe, as all of that is free and does help us out quite a bit. Also, go ahead and comment your favorite short-barreled AR in the comments down below. Now, full disclosure on the Holosun 503CU is I actually did not pay for this optic whatsoever. I don't have any relationship with Holosun. They don't really talk to me whatsoever. I have reviewed a lot of their optics in the past. They make some really good budget optics. Their pistol optics are very good and the go-to in some considerations as well. But this optic was actually sent out to me by K Tactical, as well as this 5-inch 5.56 upper receiver that we did all of the testing on. They sent out this upper receiver for me to do some testing on, and so I thought I would bring you guys some videos along the way. So now getting into specifics on the Holosun 503CU. This is kind of their mid-range option with all of the features. So their 400 series is a little bit more basic, and I believe just has the 2 MOA dot. The 500 series starts to add in more features, plus you have the 2 MOA dot and 65 MOA outer circle, which a lot of people prefer, myself personally as well. And then you have the higher end 515 and 530 series. The 515 is 7075, and I'm not sure if they have a titanium version. And then 530s are bigger, as well as higher quality materials as well. Now, just getting into the feature set of the 503CU, this is going to be your standard 20 millimeter micro red dot, so a T1, T2 size red dot, which is going to be, again, very comparable to a lot of other red dots on the market, and is, of course, compatible with T1 or T2 style mounts. Now, on top of that, we have a side-loading 2032 battery, which is rated at 50,000 hours with Holosun's auto on, auto off technology, meaning that when the dot is not in use, when it's at rest for a certain amount of time, it will automatically turn off and then turn right back on once it senses motion. On basically every modern dot that I've ever tested, the auto on, auto off has worked flawlessly, and on the 503CU, so far it has been no different. Now, on top of that, we do have capped windage and elevation on the body itself. Now, they're also protected as well. I believe they're in half MOA increments, which for a red dot is perfectly fine. Now, on the 503CU, you also have a top solar failsafe. Now, solar failsafe is very specific in how that's worded. Basically, if it does not have a battery or the battery dies, it will attempt to run off of ambient light. It doesn't really charge the battery from what I can tell. I believe the 510 actually charges the battery, which is very important, and that essentially means that your battery will last forever. However, on the 503CU, it is a solar failsafe, so it's not charging the system as you're using it. Now, again, we are talking about a red dot with an extended battery life plus auto on, auto off. So for me personally, I find the feature to be a bit redundant, but some people out there know that batteries do tend to be a little bit finicky sometimes, so having that solar failsafe for them is worth the extra, I believe, $20 or $30 in some cases to get the 503CU over the regular 503R or 503B. I forget. There's a few different 503 models. Now, coming in at a MSRP of around $300, it's definitely a mid-range price. However, street price is going to be usually somewhere between $200 and $250, depending on when and where you get it. Now, last thing to mention on the body of the optic, we of course have our illumination settings, which is a plus and a minus button, and they do plus and minus things. However, with the 500 series, you also have the multi-reticle system. So if you wanted to, you could switch between the 2 MOA dot and 65 MOA outer circle, or just the 2 MOA dot. Now, if you're buying a 500 series optic, you probably want the 65 MOA circle. However, if you want all the features and you just want the 2 MOA dot, that will increase your battery life because it, of course, doesn't have to power the full emitter. So I would imagine with the 65 MOA outer circle, you are getting somewhat reduced battery life. Again, personally, I like to see it. You can use it as an auto-ranging feature, and for me personally, it just tends to be a little bit faster, and up close, I can just kind of throw the circle onto a target and pull the trigger as fast as I want. Now, unfortunately, standard on the Holosun 403s and 503s, those lines of optics, is this very basic T1, T2 style mount. Now, the materials and construction, I've seen the mounts themselves fail. Fortunately, it is using the standard T1, T2 style mounting platform, so you can select from a wide variety of aftermarket mounts to give yourself a better mounting solution. Now, on the bottom of the mount, you have a singular, fairly small crossbolt and a very small locking block on the other side, as well as no integrated recoil lugs. Now, what that means is under normal operation, provided that the mount remains torqued properly, is that it won't shift zero under normal firing with 5.56 or 7.62x39 or anything else like that. However, if the optic were to experience a harsh impact or given enough time, the zero will shift on you. In my own personal testing on several of these mounts on like Sig Romeo 5s and other Holosun optics as well, the basic mounts, if they encounter a drop or something like that, will shift anywhere between 2 and like 5 MOA, which can matter depending on what you're shooting at, how far away, target size, all that sort of stuff. So if you have the extra money to spend, anywhere from 20 to 50 bucks on a decent mount with recoil lugs and a little bit better of a locking surface on it, I would recommend doing that as soon as you can. The base mounts basically only hold the optic to the rail, but again, they're not going to really maintain that zero over harsh impacts or extended periods of time. So again, I would recommend swapping those off. Now, getting into the glass quality and the reticle itself, fortunately, the glass quality in daylight situations or even in low light situations under a white light, the glass quality is perfectly fine. From what I've seen from other reviewers, the light transmission in low light scenarios like night visions where it's basically pitch black outside, the light transmission is not good enough in those situations. But again, for about 99% of people out there, the optical quality is what I would consider to be just fine. You do have a little bit of that blue-green tint, though it's not really noticeable unless you're looking for it. Now, the reticle does get more than bright enough. Usually when I'm outdoors, I believe it has 8 daylight settings and 2 night vision settings, or it has 10 daylight settings and 2 night vision settings. Usually when I'm outdoors, I'm usually either 1 or 2 steps below maximum brightness. Again, that's going to depend on your environmentals as well. Now, on top of that, there's not really any distortion or warping either. It is a very natural, very flat 1x image, which is nice. That's why you want a red dot, of course, so that your eyes and brains don't have to do any working to figure out what you're looking through on your right eye versus your left eye. Like if you have a 1x LPVO or a 1x prism where it's close to 1x, but it's not quite 1x. So your brain has to do a little bit of work coalescing those images. So of course, the 1x performance of the optic is very good. Now, the emitter position on this is about the 8 o'clock position. So it's kind of on the back left side looking up like that. And fortunately on this optic, a while ago I reviewed a Holosun 515GM and I found horrible glare issues with my specific optic that I had. And it made it less usable and more annoying to use than other optics that were cheaper. Fortunately, this one here, at this point in time, has exhibited no glare whatsoever in different lighting conditions. I shoot basically the same spot every time. And again, there was no annoying glare like I got off of my 515GM. So at the end of the day, the Holosun 503CU is a feature-packed red dot. It maybe even has a little bit more features than you would need. Personally, again, I find the solar failsafe to be a little bit redundant, maybe a little bit gimmicky. Some of you might like it, which is totally fine. Has a 2 MOA dot, 65 MOA outer circle, the way that I prefer to run it. The emitter itself is crisp, but the reticle looks good even under magnification, has very good brightness settings, gets more than bright enough, and is good for all of the red dot things, except of course night vision from what I've heard. So, is it a good buy? If you're looking for that sort of feature set for a basic red dot, or not really a basic red dot, it does have some upgraded, nicer features. It does have a very nice slim package with the side-loading 2032 battery. So it has a lot of pros going for it. Personally, I really like the optic. The Holosun optics have been very durable for me. At this point in time, with about a dozen reviews on different Holosun optics and probably somewhere between 15 and 20,000 rounds on total, I haven't had a single failure to date. There's little things that I haven't liked here and there. But overall, again, Holosun optics have, for at least my experience, been very durable, and they kind of just do what they're described to do. And if you like that sort of thing, you're on a budget, you like the feature set, because again, they don't charge too much money for these. There are cheaper options, even within the Holosun line, if you don't need all of the extra features. But if you are looking for it, the 503 does have it. It does do all of the red dot things very well. And again, it doesn't break the bank. So, with all of that out of the way, guys, let me know what you guys think of the Holosun 503CU in the comments down below. And with all of that out of the way, guys, I want to thank you guys once again for watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace off.
Oh my gosh.
painful on my eyes. Oh, dog, I can't even see. All right, I'm just gonna try and do a burn real fast. Oh my